Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, it's news time, and we have the information for the New Year's Super Sugo Fest that's coming on the 26th of December, going all the way to February 18th. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at the banners, we're going to take a look at all of the good stuff that's coming for New Year's, and give you guys a little bit of an idea where your gems will most likely be best spent. Now, before I dive into that and I state where I think were the best gems, where your gems will best be spent, be mindful, this is just a rough guide. Don't take this like as law. Honestly, summon on the part that gives you the highest chance to pick up the most new characters. So as you guys can see here, we have the 15% red rate, and the Sugo Fest is going to be spread out over 4 different parts. So, on part 1, all Sugo Fest exclusive characters will be included. So if you're like myself, and you like to pick up stuff like level limit break dupes, if you want a chance at all 4 of these legends, or 3, sorry, part 1 might be the part for you. So, starting on the 26th, going through to the February 18th, we have a 15% chance at a red rate, which is awesome, good to see. However, the steps, they're probably going to be pretty dookie. Just like last year, the steps were not to be desired. But tell me what you guys are thinking about summoning in the comment section below. And while you're down there, don't forget to belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit the big red subscribe button as well. So, on part 2, there's a bunch of different Super Sugos exclusive. Obviously, part 1 has all the Super Sugos. Part 2 has Odin, Kid, Luffy, which is Super Tandem Luffy, and Uta. Very interesting that Uta's there. Because remember, if you do the missions with Uta, you can pick up a second copy for the 6++. Part 3 has Law, Yamato, Kaido, Super Tandem, and Shanks, Super Tandem Shanks. And then part 4 has Whitebeard Roger, Luffy Crew, Yamato Ace, and Monkey D. Luffy from Film Red. So, very, very good part down the bottom there. So, as you guys will see here, everything is a 50 gem multi. And then we have a free 10+ from the 26th to the 31st, and then the 1st to the 5th. So that's, what, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. And then we have one multi on the Super Sugo Fest. So it's something like 11, it's like 10 to 11 free multis, one of them being Super Sugo Fest multis. So don't forget to sign in and do your free multi every single day. Every single day. Don't forget to do that. Don't forget. So, the new characters are here. As you guys can see, we have the Verse, Yamato, and Kaido, Robin, and Nami. I did just release a who's the most valuable sort of video. Like I said, Robin is best in Kazuna. Nami's pretty good in terms of, like, situational. Kaido, for me, is kind of mid, and Yamato is probably the most well-rounded. We also have a new Zoro and a new Sanji, so that's always fun. My part 1 PDs rise up. All these characters are going to be boosted in the new point farming events. You get 3 additional drops for the new legends, 2 for the rare recruits, and then there's a whole bunch of other characters here that are going to get different events. What does it say here? Additionally, they will be powered up. So Robin gets the highest boost, and then, okay, so Robin gets a higher boost in terms of points. So Robin is going to be the best character to use for the Blitz. That's interesting that they've done that, because Robin's the least desirable. So, very interesting that they're making her the highest points for the Blitz coming out. Then you've also got Zoro and Sanji being on 1.25. The event period will go from part 1 from the 26th, and then it's the 28th, then it's the 30th, then it's the 31st. Super annoying that they're going like 2 days between part 1 and part 2, and then 2 days between part 2 and part 3, and then they're doing like a day in between part 3 and part 4. So, I just wish that literally they did like, if they wanted to separate it to part 1 and then the next day do all 3 other parts, or just release all of them on the same day. Like, why not? That's the easiest way to get top grossing. Like, I digress. All posters will be 4-star or better, and then we have the steps. So, on part 1, 1st, 7th, 9th, 11th, 12th, 14th, 16th, 17th, 19th, 21st, 22nd, 24th, 26th, 27th, 29th will be a rate boosted character. Not a rate boosted or a legend, a rate boosted character. Now, we'll touch on this in a second because there are some good rate boosted legends. So if you can still pull a legend on this part. It's just narrowing the rate boosted characters down. And we'll talk about that in a second. It's actually better than the rate boosted or legend step, in my opinion. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th are all guaranteed Sugos. So doing 5 multis on part 1, if you guys are thinking what parts to summon on, is a very good shout, because at least you're guaranteed 4 legends. And remember, every legends here, you have a chance of pulling the new legends, any Super Sugo. There's a lot of options here as well. The 8th, 13th, 18th, 25th, and 28th are also legends. And then the 6th, 10th, and 15th is a rate boosted Sugo rare character. Rate boosted Sugo Fest character. Very, very good steps. And again, we'll talk about that in a second. 20th multi is a Super Sugo Fest character. 23rd is a 50% chance at all reds. I don't like this step. I think it's garbage. I think like 25th multi should be all red. Something like that. And the 30th step is a new Super Sugo Fest character being Yamato and Kaido, or Nami, or Robin. For myself, I will be doing 30 multis on part 1. I really hope we pull Kaido or Nami on this step. Or, if we don't pick up Robin along the way, we pick up Robin here. I don't want dupes of Robin. I would love dupes of Yamato, Kaido, and Nami. But then we have part 2, 3, and 4. The steps change a little bit. It becomes a rate-boosted or Sugo Rare character. Again, I think this is a much worse step than the rate-boosted step. Because, if you have a look here at rate-boosted, if we go down to part 1, for example, the rate-boosted characters, you have these characters right here. So these are all rate boosted for part 1 in terms of a red poster. If you pull a red poster on these said steps, you'll actually see one of these legends right here. Or, if you're very lucky, one of these Super Sugo Fest units, because these guys aren't rate boosted. However, if you scroll right down the bottom here, you'll see that we do have some rate boosted rare recruits. So you do have a chance of pulling these particular rare recruits as well. Obviously, you have the 2 new ones, which are very, very good. Lots of people skip Big Mom, so we have the Big Mom batch of Frankie and Usopp as well. Law is great. He was a treasure map release, so that's good to see. And then the rest are kind of like, they've been around for like a year now, or half a year now. So it is something to see there. But as we go back to part 1 up the top here, like I said, a rate boosted Sugo step on the 6th, 10th, and 15th, you will see one of these characters that you see on screen. So, very interesting stuff, and in my opinion, is much better than what the part 2 and 3 and 4 has to offer, because they have a rate boosted or a Sugo Rare character. So then that includes all of the legends that are included on their particular banner, which we'll talk about in a second, because part 2, 3, and 4, they don't have all legends. So, take that with a grain of salt, because part 1 has Sengoku, Corazon Law, and Big Mom, which the other parts do not, as well as having all the Super Sugos as well, so be mindful of that. 2nd, 3rd, 16th, and 13th and 16th is a Sugo Rare, very low steps, but then you have 5th, 8th, and 25th being a limited, and the 10th and 20th being a super limited, 30th being either Kaido, Yamato, Robin, or Nami, depending on what part you're summoning on. So, let's take a quick look at the parts and see what will be worth pulling on. Part 1, as you can see, obviously has the 3 new Super Sugo Fest characters. Big Mom, Corazon Law, Sengoku, great options here as well. Lots of people probably missing them. And then you have all the other Super Sugos for stuff like level limit break fodder and stuff like that as well. A lot of these characters here also have Super Evolutions or level limit break pluses. It's very interesting to see that V2 Shanks is sitting right there, by the way. Very, very interesting that Shanks is sitting there. It's kind of giving me vibes that his 6+ might be around the corner. And I really hope so, but that might be me clutching at straws, because a lot of these characters all are dual units, or Luffy, Jinbei, and Ace, which already have level limit breaks. The top row are all very, very new, so I don't see that happening anytime soon. But then you do have Kaido. So Kaido and Shanks are kind of standing out to me a little bit here as potentially Super Evolutions and level limit breaks coming in the future. So that'll be interesting. Part 2 has Yamato and Kaido, Uta, Luffy, Kid, and Odin. Luffy's my boy. I love Luffy, and obviously the new verse unit being probably the most valuable on this banner because you get both the units in one, but Uta is a big selling point here. Part 2 is going to be a lot of people's go forward if they don't have Uta. If you don't have Uta, throwing a couple multis here might be worth your time, because if you pick up one Uta and then you do the event, you get 2 Utas. So, very, very valuable there. If you're missing Uta, good shout to pull here. If you're looking for Yamato and Kaido specifically, this is where you want to target. And if you still need Luffy dupes, that's also going to help you out for Super 10 and fodder. The rest of the banner, besides Marco and Chopper, everything else is kind of whatever. Shiki dupes is nice, Tesoro dupes is nice, Kaido dupes is nice. Like, all these characters are nice for whales, but even still, as a whale, it's just like a yay. It's not like, oh, okay, I really wanted or needed that, right? Like I said, Marco, Chopper are the big ones here for most players for the regular Sugos. But if you're summoning on part 2, you're most likely going for the big 3 that you see at the top. If you really like Rumble, Kid's a good option, but Strength just kind of suck. As for the limited pool steps, everything in this limited pool is kind of annoying, besides, again, Chopper, Marco, Luffy, Uta, Yamato, Kaido. Everything else is kind of like... They've been on so many banners. Like, you guys know how I feel about Katakuri. You guys know how I feel about Ulti. Dofi, he's been around forever. Lucci, they all came out at the same time. King and Queen and Moria. Like, most players will have them maxed. And then Who's Who kind of sucks, man. Like, couldn't tell you last time I used Who's Who. So, part 2, again, is screaming at people that don't have Uta. And that's probably where you should summon if you are looking at Uta. Or narrowing in on Kaido and Yamato. As for part 3 is an interesting one because Robin is very good for the Blitz battle, but you only need 1 copy of her. So if you go in on part 1 and you don't pick up a copy of Robin and you want copies of Shanks, this is a very good part because you have the 2 best super tandems in the game on the same banner. You have Shanks and you have Kaido. So if you're missing them at level 5, this is probably a very good place to summon, especially if you didn't pick up Robin on part 1. Robin is that character for me that is just like, pick up 1 copy and dip. So it's unfortunate that the 2 best super tandems are on this banner, but if you guys are missing copies of them, for myself it's great, because if I pick up Robin part 1, I don't even have to look at this banner, which is the goal. Ideally, I would love to just pick up a Robin on part 1, don't touch part 3, that would be great. But then they went and did it. They added Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo on part 3, which means my last copy of Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo is like in a site that I don't want to touch. But they are a regular Sugo, so for me it's not that big of a deal if I don't have to touch this banner. But like I said, the real reason that you'll be touching this particular part is if you want your 1 copy of Robin, Shanks, and Kaido dupes is the big selling points here. Otherwise, try and steer clear of this banner unless you don't pick up Robin on part 1, or you really need those super tandem copies. The limited pool steps look a little bit like this. Black Maria, Hiyori are kind of like annoying that they're here, especially Black Maria. But if you don't have Hiyori, Hiyori is another very, very good legend. And as for the pool of legends here, it's good, it's just not great. Kinemon Dendro, good unit. Boa, very underrated. Brook, great for Grand Voyage. Black Maria sucks. Hiyori is great, but then everything else is kind of like whatever. Like, Vivi and Reiju now, like, they still are good, but like they're not something you should chase. Bonnie and Below, everything besides that is kind of whatever. Nami is an interesting one because her level limit break should be coming soon, and I imagine she'll be a part of Grand Voyage Arlong Park, but that may not happen with the Snake Man level limit break, so very interesting that they've done that. Pudding is a terrific sub, but then like Chopper just got his level limit break, so if you're missing copies there, you might want to summon here. But I think they did a very, very good at fleshing out this particular Sugo part than this particular Sugo. I think that part 3 Sugo-wise and level limit break and all that shenanigans is much better. Corazon level limit break's great. Rayleigh's level limit break's terrific. Like I said, Chopper, you got Pudding as a super sub. You got Sabo here. And then as for the Super Sugos, in my opinion, the Super Sugos are much more desirable here. Like I said, much, much more desirable. As for part 4 is where it starts getting real juicy. And obviously, they're going to make you wait all the way to the 31st of December because you have Nami, Film Red Luffy, Yamato Ace, Straw Hat Crew, and Whitebeard Roger. They went and did it. They went and put both the New Year's Legends on part 4 with Nami, who a lot of people are seeking after. Not to mention that, but they also put Sop Sop on this banner. Sop Sop, in my opinion, is probably one of the best regular Sugos for what they can do, along with Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo. They pop up on every Free Spirit team as a guaranteed conditional, and they're going to work amazingly alongside the new Robin, or alongside the new Nami with the new Robin as well. You can do a lot of really, really cool stuff there. But if you guys are missing Straw Hat Crew dupes, pulling on this banner is not bad, because all of these units have amazing final taps, amazing super tandem abilities, being Nami. And if you pick up dupes for any of these characters, you are going to be happy, as long as you don't have them rainbowed. As for the rest of the pool, for newer players, there's a lot of very good units here. Like CatDog are absolutely fantastic. Frankie Tanky is amazing. Straw Hat Crew V1. Sasaki is great. Odin is good. Zoro is great for Grand Voyage. Sober Masters of Demon. Wano Law is fantastic. Snake Man V2 is amazing. Dupes of Neko, Inu, and Rayleigh are amazing for Grand Voyage. So this part is very, very good. However, you really want to be looking at the Super Sugo Fest, and between this part and part 3, these are the two best parts that I would say to summon on. If you don't have Uta. If you are missing Uta, make sure to get a copy of her on part 2, and then you can basically get your 2 copies. So like I said at the beginning, it's dependent on what you guys have in your accounts, but I think everyone should probably do the 5 multis on part 1, take your chances there, see what happens, then move over to part 3 for Robin's banner if you don't pick up Robin, but if you're missing Uta, dive in on part 2. But like I said, if you guys want Nami more, summon on Nami's part. If you want Robin more, summon on Robin's part. As for extra copies, the Robin banner has the most desirable super tandems, where part 4 has the more desirable final tap characters. So it's like Straw Hat Crew especially. Like, if you're missing Straw Hat Crew, you really want to try and pick up Straw Hat Crew dupes here, because that final tap is still unrivaled, even though it's getting power crept a little bit with stuff like very good Nami characters, Usopp's, and other Straw Hats like Robin as well. As to the limited pool, these characters are all like kind of whatever, but this super limited pool step is probably the strongest, in my opinion, if not the second strongest behind part 3. I just think Nami is way more fun than what Robin is, and if you are looking for more copies, or you are wailing a bit more, I think part 4 is where to go. But part 3 seems to have the most value in terms of picking up a dupe, because the Super Tano of Shanks and Kaido, and the 1 copy of Robin is so goddamn valuable. As for the rest here, you can see that these are the rate boosted characters for the rare recruits, and hopefully you guys manage to pick up them as well for the Blitz battle. So that's the banner structure. Like I said, spend your gems where you would like to. Pick up the characters that you like, but like I said, the most valuable I would say is Yamato and Kaido out of the new characters. But as for the banners, the Robin banner is very, very good for Super Tandem Shanks dupes as well as Kaido dupes, and the Nami banner is very, very good for the Straw Hat Crew. So spend your gems there. But like I said, everyone should probably do the first 5 multis on part 1 to try your luck there for the guaranteed reds. But that's going to wrap up the video on the Sugo Fest. Make sure to stay tuned for the rest of the videos on the rest of the content, because there is a lot of stuff coming. There's also this particular banner here. I'm not even going to touch on this banner, because no one should touch this banner unless you're missing Roger. Shout out to my boy Kruby, because Roger is obviously so heavily rate boosted. Wait a second. Ah, no, don't summon on this banner. It's the 20th multi. Nah, don't summon. I thought it was like the 10th multi is guaranteed Roger. Don't touch this banner. Don't touch this banner. If you want Roger, try your luck on part 1. Otherwise, call it a day. Don't summon on this banner. This banner is trash. Don't even go near it. Just don't even go near it. So, we're not even going to touch on that. As good as 6+ Roger is, do not touch this banner. This is where you want to spend your gems. Should you summon? Yes. Where you summon is up to you. But like I said, I'm recommending the first 5 multis on part 1. And then maybe part 3 or part 4 for the rest of your summons. Unless you're missing Uta. If you're missing Uta, definitely dive in on part 2. You definitely want to pick up a copy of her, so then you can get 2 copies, because the 2 copies is real juicy. That's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to belt the like button if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already. Hit the big red subscribe button. Most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.